Hello YouTube, Wes here, checking in once again. I know it has been a very long time since we've done a Movie Time with Wes video, but hasn't stopped me from collecting new movies, watching new movies, and so I want to get back into making videos about the movies I've been watching, the movies I've been collecting. So I'm gonna have to play some catch up here. It's been almost a year, I believe. I believe around July of 2021 when the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble was happening. The last time I made some videos, and it's about to be July here very soon when I'm filming this, and it might be already July when you're seeing this. I wanted to go ahead and get back into making some movie videos here and talking about what I'm collecting, what I'm watching, because the collection has grown quite a bit in the last year since I made a video. So this first video here we're going to do today are going to be some recent watched movies. I'm going to go over some of the Criterions I picked up at the sales over the July sale, the other ones I picked up from the July sale last year, and the November sale, and a couple others that I picked up here and there. And then finally, I want to share with you some of the things that viewer Rick sent over the past year as well. Because he sent me some stuff that he had upgraded in his own collection, and so that was really nice of him to send over some movies for me to check out. So we're going to go over all that. Probably going to be a fairly long video, but hope you enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start off with some recent watched movies. This first one here is kind of outside my normal liked kind of movie, but that is the original Creature from the Black Lagoon 1954 Universal monster movie. Yeah, normally outside of what I would normally go for when I watch something, but I live in Central Florida near Silver Springs, which is near Ocala, Florida. And Silver Springs is where the underwater scenes for this movie was filmed. There were some on land sort of photos, or on land sort of shots as well that were from the Silver Springs, Florida area. But there were also some shots from California and whatnot. But yeah, just the history of this movie and the area that I live in got me interested in. We recently took a visit to Silver Springs and went on the glass bottom boats, and the glass bottom boat captain was talking about this movie, and we went over the spring that the creature from the Black Lagoon emerges from. So they call it the creature spring. So yeah, I hadn't seen this movie before, so I wanted to see it because of that history of where I'm at, and I definitely enjoyed it. It's not normally the type of movie. I don't watch creature movies. I don't watch monster movies that much, but I really enjoyed this. Originally released in 3D, I would have loved to see this in 3D. I love 3D photography and videos and movies, so it would have been cool to see this. I don't know, maybe this is available as a 3D disc somehow. But yeah, this is just a standard 2D edition that we picked up at the Walmart $5 bin. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. It was cool seeing, recognizing what was filmed at Silver Springs there and what wasn't, and seeing this classic Universal monster movie. So that was the first one. I definitely enjoyed watching that. All right, next thing I have to talk about is the Back to the Future trilogy in 4K. It had been a while since I'd seen these. I picked up the Blu-rays back when they came out, probably, I think it was about 10 years ago when the Blu-rays came out, at least more than 10 years ago, probably. But yeah, I mean, I grew up with these movies, saw all of them in the theaters when they came out, and loved the Back to the Future trilogy, and really enjoyed watching these again in 4K and seeing there's a couple of new bonus features. Yeah, really nice book style. I know a lot of people hate these, and I've never had an issue where these kind of scratch the disc. People talk about maybe I'm just not pulling my discs in and out as much as most people do, but I do like the presentation of this, as it looks really nice, and really nice to have these in 4K. They look great, look better than ever, and I was happy to be able to upgrade them. And of course, they're great movies. I mean, I can't say anything bad about Back to the Future. A great trilogy. All of the movies are really good. Maybe 2 hasn't held up as well as the others, but because we sort of passed the place where 2 is supposed to take place, but they're just fun movies. They're classic movies. I love Back to the Future, so I was glad to enjoy that. Glad to upgrade that in my collection. Next one, sort of an odd movie. This is Confessions of an American Girl. This has Jenna Malone, Brad Renfro, Michelle Forbes, Clifton Collins Jr. This was a wacky movie, a very dysfunctional sort of family, and it just sort of tells a story of this family, and the father is, in and out of jail, and there's just weirdness going on. It kind of gets goofy at times. I did not like this movie. It was not enjoyable. I cannot recommend this movie. All right, next up, this one was picked up because it has Michael Cera, and I do really enjoy Michael Cera as an actor. And I picked up the movie called Lemon. This one also features Brett Gelman, Judy Greer, Shiri Appleby, and Nia Long. So it's like this guy, and he's like a writer, and he's just, let's see here, how can I explain it? A man in a free fall, immobilized by mediocrity. His career is going nowhere. His girlfriend of 10 years is leaving him, and his overbearing family doesn't help matters. So it's just like a train wreck of a movie in all sense of the word, but it's like, it's not enjoyable to watch. I don't care. So yeah, I did not like this movie at all. Unfortunately, and Michael Cera has a very small part in the movie, so it just wasn't good for me. So I don't recommend Lemon either. All right, next thing I have to share with you is the Academy Award Best Picture, Nomadland. Frances McDormand tells a story. She's kind of getting up in age, kind of, struggling with career and family, and just wants to sort of break free and, sort of venture out on her own and do her own thing, and live in a camper and sort of travel around and join that sort of scene of people that are sort of nomads. And it sort of tells a story of people who are nomads, and it kind of gives you an idea of what their life is like. And really excellent picture. I really like this a lot. I can relate a lot to that wanting to escape, the work grind and the family grind and all that stuff. So I really related to this, even though I'm not of that age. But yeah, really excellent movie. I did enjoy it. So yeah, Nomadland, they're a very good movie. So that one will be staying around. Next up was a classic. Hadn't seen this in a very long time. This is the classic movie 9 to 5. Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton. This is great as ever. Great cast, great story, funny, very, very ahead of its time almost in the way, sort of women empowerment kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how long ago this movie was made, 1980. But yeah, funny, classic, great movie. I've liked this movie a lot and was glad to revisit it. 9 to 5. All right, next up we have a Western. This is one actually Rick sent to me. This is the movie Silverado, a modern Western, or semi-modern. I think it was from the 90s. Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, Rosanna Arquette, John Cleese, Kevin Costner, Brian Dennehy, Danny Glover, Jeff Goldblum, and Linda Hunt. So yeah, it's a Western, but it has a very either, I don't know if it's late 80s or early 90s. It has that sort of modern style to it, and it just doesn't have that warm, inviting feel that a classic Western has for me. So I kind of didn't enjoy this. It was kind of, I felt it was a bit overdone. They used, more modern action and stunt techniques and got really fancy with things. And I really liked that more simple style that Westerns had in the 50s and 60s. So this was okay. I didn't love it. So that was the Silverado. Okay, next thing I have to share with you is a bit of horror. I don't normally watch horror movies, but this was a Dollar Tree pickup from a while back, and this is the movie Gallows. So this is kind of was telling the story of a high school sort of drama club kind of thing that put on this play back. They had put it on back in the 1993 at the first time. They put on this play, and then somebody actually ended up dying during the production, and then the theater became haunted, and they tried to do the production again and try to make it right. And yeah, sort of the typical horror type things ensue. This started out really good. Near the end, it kind of fell off for me. It was pretty scary at times, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't absolutely love it. But a decent horror movie, worth watching one time maybe. Okay, this next one was I haven't shown this before. This was a pickup from the last July Criterion sale. This was one I tried to get at Barnes & Noble, and they were sold out by the time I got there. It was a recent release at that time, and that is the movie Defending Your Life. Great Albert Brooks movie. Kind of underrated, lesser known maybe. Hopefully this Criterion release will make it more well known. It's a movie about what if when you died you went to this city called Judgment City, and you had to sit in a case of that reviewed your entire life and the choices you made in your life, and whether you deserve to go on to the next level or whether you have to go back and sort of relive your life and do things over as a different person. Just a really super creative idea, really well done, really well thought out. This was one of those movies I mentioned in the past that my parents took me to when I was young. Going into the movie, I was not excited for it at all, and it was one of those movies that really grabbed me, and it's really changed how I think about the decisions I made in my life. Ever since I've seen this movie, I always think about, well, what if I'm going to be judged on this at some point? It's a great movie in that respect. That's the one thing I love about this movie is it's changed the way I think about my life. Pretty powerful in that way for me. But really happy to have this in the Criterion Collection. Got a nice new transfer. It's for Blu-ray here. And if you have not seen this movie, Defending Your Life, I highly recommend it. Great movie, one of my favorites. So that was a new pickup as well as a newly watched movie. I couldn't wait to watch that one, so that's why that one's in here now. I've got some other pickups I'll share with you later that I have not watched yet. Next up, we got another Criterion one. The Defending Your Life is spine number 1071. Next up, we have spine number 190, and that's Kurosawa's Throne of Blood. So this is Kurosawa's sort of reimagining of the tale of Macbeth, set in sort of feudal Japan. Yeah, really good. This was really good. Normally outside of my wheelhouse. Again, I don't normally watch this type of movie, but yeah, very well shot, well acted, very brutal to watch, and yeah, definitely dug that one. Next up, this was Dollar Tree pickup, Martha Stewart's classic Thanksgiving. I think I watched this around Thanksgiving, around the holiday time. Just had some of her recipes and ideas for holiday meals, holiday foods and stuff. I enjoyed watching it, but it's not going to be a keeper. All right, next one is this is one that Rick and I have discussed through email, and this is the documentary called Movie Hoarders, from VHS to DVD and beyond. So it's a documentary all about people who love and collect physical media, as it says, VHS to DVD and beyond, laser discs, whatever it may be. So this is kind of, I wanted to really enjoy this, but I felt, because this was filmed during the pandemic, it was each person that's featured in the movie shot their own parts and answered questions, and they sort of cut it together into a documentary. So, a lot of these people are already on YouTube here talking about movies and talking about their collecting and their collection and showing their collection and sharing their feelings on movies and whatnot. So it just felt like a bunch of YouTube videos cut together. I had wished they had waited to film this maybe and actually gone out with these people and sort of followed them along on their hunting, how they go about finding movies and where they find movies, and maybe capture them sort of hunting for movies in the wild. So yeah, this is just okay. You're gonna know a lot of these people if you watch people who talk about movies here on YouTube, and I wanted to really like this, and I just thought it was okay. I didn't hate it, but it just felt like, okay, this is just a sort of bonus video of all these people that, we've seen here on YouTube before. So that was Movie Hoarders. All right, next thing I have to share is Steve Martin in The Jerk. Yeah, this one, in my opinion, hasn't aged well, just based on the sort of theme of it. It was just okay. It's been a while since I'd seen this. I don't even know if I've ever sat down and watched the whole thing. But yeah, not great. Didn't care for that one. All right, next up, we got a double feature here on Blu-ray. We have Ship of Fools and Lilith. Two excellent movies. I highly recommend this twofer if you can find it. Ship of Fools talks about a 1930s cruise ship. Its theme is sort of classism and racism and nationalism, dealing with it's a German cruise liner, and so there are people on there that are more of the Nazi sort of type, and then there are others on there. Really kind of an interesting sort of, take all these people, put them on a cruise ship, and see how they interact kind of movie. And it's really a sort of a petri dish kind of movie in that respect, and it was really well done. I did enjoy that one quite a bit. And then the second movie is Lilith, and Lilith is she's in an insane asylum, and she sort of has this romantic kind of involvement with one of the doctors. So yeah, really interesting sort of look at that sort of time period when people were in insane asylums, and the interactions between the doctor, the employees, the staff, and the patients. And it was a really well acted movie. Lilith does a really excellent job of playing someone who's mentally challenged, and yeah, really well done. So definitely recommend both of these movies if you can find them. If you can find this twofer, that's even better, because this is a good one. And this was a Dollar Tree pickup, although that was probably 2 years ago at this point, but it may still be out there. Next up, another Criterion movie here. We have Spine number 300. That's Life Aquatic, Bill Murray movie, Steve Zissou. This is a Wes Anderson movie. I am not the biggest fan of Wes Anderson movies. This was enjoyable. It was funny. It was quirky. It's a Wes Anderson movie. If you love Wes Anderson movies, you're probably going to love this movie. If you don't like Wes Anderson movies, you're probably not going to like it. I think I enjoy Wes Anderson movies. I'm not sure they're all that great. But it was an enjoyable, funny, quirky Wes Anderson movie. I'll say that. All right, next up we have a movie I had hunted for a very, very long time. I was glad to discover that Kino Lorber had was reissuing it last year on Blu-ray for the first time, and that is the 1980 movie Honky Tonk Freeway. Filmed in Mount Dora, Florida, so sort of southern central Florida area, a touristy kind of town. And the plot of this movie, it takes that sort of thing. It's they create a fictional town in the movie, but they're building a freeway and it's going to bypass the town. And the town people want to have an exit on their town, so tourists will continue coming to their town, and it's the goofy sort of things that go on to sort of get the highway to come to their town. It's not great. It was fun to sort of see this, and since I've been to Mount Dora many times, just kind of see that town portrayed in this movie. So yeah, not a great movie, but a fun one to watch, and it was more of a thing for me to watch because I knew the town it was filmed at. It's kind of one of those quirky late 70s, early 80s sort of comedy movies. Not cinematic, sort of mastery here or anything. Just a fun popcorn, Saturday night kind of movie. Next up, we have the movie Garden State. This guy lives in Jersey somewhere, and then he goes out to, after college or whatever, or maybe he goes off to college. Somehow, anyway, he moves away from home out to L.A. Everybody thinks he's like this, famous Hollywood type, and he's a big deal. And he comes home and he's kind of doesn't feel that way. He feels like his career is not going anywhere. He's not sure what he's doing. It was an okay movie. This was the first time I had seen it. I'd heard a lot about it over the years. I couldn't really relate to it that much, so didn't like Garden State that much. And then the last of the watched movies I picked to share with you is the Disney movie Follow Me, Boys. This tells a story of Fred MacMurray plays a guy who is a part of a traveling jazz band probably in the 30s, 1930s, kind of the old oompa kind of jazz stuff. Kind of gives up on the whole music thing, decides to put his foot down or put his roots down in a town, and then winds up sort of taking on this group of boys that are looking for some guidance, kind of an early kind of Boy Scouting kind of thing. I didn't like this movie. It was just meh. It was kind of not good. I didn't care for it. But it does have Kurt Russell. I think this might have been one of his first movies. He's a kid in this movie. But yeah, Follow Me, Boys, Disney movie. Didn't do anything for me, so I didn't care for that one. Okay, so next up I wanted to share with you some of the new Criterions I have picked up over the last year. I've been finding some Criterion movies in thrift stores and whatnot as well. I'll share those in some upcoming videos, or maybe one large upcoming video. But these are the ones I bought at the various sales in the last year, or on Amazon when the price dropped to a decent price. So the first one I have here is Terrence Malick's Thin Red Line movie, the very first Terrence Malick movie I ever saw. I saw this in the theater and instantly loved his style and loved this movie, and I've wanted to have this in my collection for a while. I've actually had it in my collection in the past, probably on DVD, but yeah, I wanted to have the Criterion version, Blu-ray. So I did pick that one up, and we're going to revisit that at some point. Pretty long movie, I think, 171 minutes. So looking forward to revisiting that one. Here's one, actually, this one came from the Second and Charles here, kind of a books, kind of a half-price book kind of store where they resell used media, and occasionally you will find a Criterion or two there. This is the Portrait of a Lady on Fire, pretty recent release from Criterion. This is spine number 1034. Thin Red Line was spine number 536. Yeah, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. This is another one. I haven't seen this yet. I didn't watch it on, is it on Netflix as this is on? So anyway, yeah, looking forward to getting into this one. Next up, classic 90s movie. What year was this? 1992, yeah. Lawrence Fishburne, Deep Cover, also has Jeff Goldblum in it. Yeah, classic movie. It was kind of a surprise when Criterion announced this one. Spine number 1026, I think it is. 1086. So pick that one up. Looking forward to revisiting that one. Next up, a Jim Jarmusch film, Stranger in Paradise, from 1984. Spine number 400. Yeah, spine number 400. This is a Jim Jarmusch film I have not seen. Heard good things about it. I think I'll probably like it, but we will see. Jean-Luc Godard with Masculine Feminine, 1966. Kind of dealing with French youth from that time period and how pop culture was sort of changing them and changing, their generation of people. Yeah, not sure what I'm going to get with this. I've just heard good things about it and I wanted to check it out, so I picked that one up. This one was a pretty popular release back when it came out, I think around the last Criterion summer sale. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I have actually never seen this movie in full. I've seen a lot of clips. I've heard a lot of references to it. 1982. So yeah, I went ahead and picked that one up. Next one I picked up, this was a neat one that Criterion released. Spine number 1083. This was also a fairly new release last summer during the sale. The Signifying Works of Marlon Riggs. A lot of very Marlon Riggs was a director and made a lot of very personal kind of movies about being queer, being gay, dealing with AIDS, all that kind of thing. I have not watched any of these yet, but I've heard great things, and it sounds like something that I would really enjoy. So I want to add that to the collection. This next one also dealing with queer themes, and another one that came out around that time as well. Spine number 1083. This is Pariah by Dee Rees. This is kind of a coming of age, being gay kind of movie, being black and gay. So yeah, I thought it was a good movie to check out. Definitely heard good things about that one. Next up, Coen movie, Inside Llewyn Davis. The great sort of kind of folky Coen Brothers movie. So yeah, definitely want to have that one in the Criterion collection. Next up was my very first Criterion 4K movie. This is Spine number, looks like 1105, Menace to Society. One of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely one of the best of its genre. And yeah, I was really surprised to see, I was surprised when Criterion announced that they were going to release this and release it in 4K. So that was awesome. So I have not had the chance to open this up and rewatch it yet. I'm really looking forward to a special time to open this up and check out all the new special features and rewatch this movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, great movie, very gritty, but definitely glad to have that one in the collection. And then the last of the Criterions, this one came in just last night, or just yesterday actually, and that is Renee Clement's Purple Noon, featuring Elaine Dion, from 1960, spine number 637. I just been wanting to check out some Elaine Dion films. He's gorgeous, and it just seems like something I would enjoy watching. So picked this one up. It seems like a good one to start off with. So I look forward. Hopefully I'll enjoy that one and pick up some more. So those were my Criterion pickups over the last year, the new ones I picked up. Lastly here, I want to discuss some of the movies that Rick has sent me over the last year, because he sent a couple, as I said, several boxes of movies as he's upgraded things in his own collection. So the first thing I have to share with you is the Omen collection on Blu-ray. So we got 4 Omen movies, and I've never seen one of these movies, so I'm looking forward to diving into these at some point. So thank you very much for that, Rick. That'll be something to look forward to. Next up, we have Bob Hope and Paulette Goddard with The Ghost Breakers. I have not heard of this film before, but looking forward to checking that one out. Rick Moranis and Tom Arnold in Big Bully, another one I have not seen before. I've seen this movie a lot. I've never actually watched it. So yeah, that'll be fun to check out. Willem Dafoe, Mary Ellen Mastrano, and Mickey Rourke in White Sands. I've not seen this one before. So look forward to that one. Next one he sent, Radioland Murders. I do not know that one. Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And excellent. I love Wallace and Gromit stuff. So I don't think I have a physical copy of this. That was a nice one to get. This one was really good to get. I saw this in the theater and loved it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm looking forward to revisiting it. That's the movie Rat Race. I remember really loving this in the theater, so hopefully it will be it will hold up many decades later at this point. Next up we have But I'm a Cheerleader, and I just noticed this has RuPaul in it. That'll be fun. I've not seen this movie before, but it should be a fun one. Next one we have I Love You to Death. It's got Kevin Kline, River Phoenix, Tracy Ullman, William Hurt, and Keanu Reeves. Good cast. Have not seen it. Any of these movies, if you love them, let me know down below why you love them. A lot of these I have not seen. Here's another one I've heard a lot about, but I've never actually seen, The Stepford Wives. Here's one from the creators of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is Shock Treatment, the 25th anniversary edition. Don't know about that one. The John Hughes film Pretty in Pink. I don't think I've ever seen this movie. I know it's a classic John Hughes movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've probably seen clips here and there. Never actually seen that one. Here's an excellent classic Val Kilmer movie, The Saint. Been a long time since I've seen that one, so that'll be fun to revisit. We got Over Her Dead Body. Eva Longoria, Paul Rudd, Jason Biggs. Yeah, decent cast. Look forward to checking that one out someday. Here's one, Hearts and Souls. Got Robert Downey Jr., Keira Sedgwick, Elizabeth Shue, Tom Sizemore. A comedy about 2 hearts, 4 souls, and second chances. Huh. Don't know it. We'll have to check it out. Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn in Casualties of War. I think I saw this at some point. It's been a very long time, probably since this came out in the 80s. Next up, we have the movie Yanks. That will be a new one for me. The Haunting, again, another one I have not seen. We have The Addams Family on Blu-ray. And then Addams Family Values on DVD. Been a long time since I've seen those. And Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. So yeah, I was thinking about getting the 4K of this, but Rick sent me the Blu-ray of it, so I will check out the Blu-ray first. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. I don't think I have, so definitely looking forward to that one. All right, last stack here. We have The Last Time I Committed Suicide. Keanu Reeves is in this. Adrian Brody. Mary Hellenberger. Don't know. It's interesting. Here's some classic horror type stuff. All Dracula movies, it looks like. Horror of Dracula. Dracula has risen from the grave. Taste the Blood of Dracula. And Dracula AD 1972. So a 70s Dracula movie, maybe. It looks like it could be interesting. The movie The Gift. Another one I've heard of, but I have not seen this movie before. Kate Blanchett, Katie Holmes, Keanu Reeves, Hilary Swank. Good cast there. We got Stephen King's The Dead Zone, which I think I've read, but I have not seen the movie. Got Ghosts of War. The writer and director of The Butterfly Effect. During the bleakest days of World War II, 5 battle-hardened soldiers are given a cake assignment. Hold down a chateau in the French countryside formerly used by Nazi command. What begins as an unexpected respite quickly descends into madness when they encounter an enemy far more terrifying than anything seen on the battlefield. So, kind of a horror war movie. It could be interesting. This is movie Primer. What happens if it actually works? Donnie Darko for grown-ups. A glorious rebuke to a dumbed-down movie world. Tartan Cinema movie. Sounds interesting. Next up, Jules Verne's Mysterious Island. I do look forward to checking this out. I do like Jules Verne type sci-fi, so that'll be pretty interesting. And the cover art is very interesting, so I'm looking forward to that. Got some Blu-rays here. The Brides of Dracula. This looks like a UK release. The Most Evil Dracula of All, Hammer Films production. Great one here. Batman Begins. Black Hawk Down. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Classic Tom Hanks movie, Saving Private Ryan. And we got Watchmen, the director's cut. Did see that in the theater. House on Haunted Hill, another UK release here. Frank Langella's and Laurence Olivier's Dracula. Blu-ray. John Carpenter's The Thing. I have never seen this movie before, but I'm looking forward to that one. And last but definitely not least, The Great Outdoors on Blu-ray. Hilarious movie. I love this movie. Looking forward to revisiting it at some point. So those are some recently watched movies. New Criterions picked up in the last year, and some movies from Rick. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoy yourself. Happy hunting. Happy watching. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the movies. Cheers.